What's going on, everyone? My name is Iceman. Welcome back to DCS World. Welcome to part 2 of the training series regarding the Flaming Cliffs aircraft. Yeah, let's do it. Training. Flaming Cliffs. We just did Su-25 and Su-25 Tango. Now we're going to be doing the MiG-29. So we're going to do the startup. That's a cool shot, man. Fuck yeah. I wonder how the MiG-29 is going to go. We'll see. Never flown it. This would be really interesting, I think. Because MiG-29's very maneuverable. Oh shit, I hope everything's in English. Which probably won't be. We'll find out there. Okay, see his landing lights are on there. That's pretty neat. It's got some missiles. His navigation lights are on. It's a pretty good shot, man. I like the clouds and the heat blur in the background. That's pretty gnarly. We should be loaded any second now. Yeah, there we go. That's a cool shot. Alright, MiG-29. Let's do it. Oh, shit.
Welcome to the MiG-29. The NATO code name for this Russian fighter
It's the
jet
quiet
is
guy
Korrio.
again.
Let's get this beast started. Before we do, a note on key pressing technique. Many of the commands require 2 keys. Always press and hold down the first key mentioned before pressing the second.
Okay.
Turn on the electrical power by pressing right shift and L. Turn on the cockpit lights by pressing L. Press the spacebar to continue.
Before we do that, let's check out this cockpit. I don't know what anything means. It's a complicated cockpit, everything's in Russian. Let's see a look on the outside. Oh, not bad. We are red team again. That's pretty sweet, look at those nozzles. I need a thumbnail. I need to get rid of the keybind for the thumbnail taking. Hold on. There we go. Alright, thumbnail captured. Anyways, this is a cool cockpit. Cool cockpit, got 2 engines. Yeah, it's a low fidelity, so we wanted, I think, cockpit lights and we want electrical power for sure, so I'm going to do that. No, lagged. There's cockpit power. Alright, spacebar.
With the electrical power now engaged, you can see that the head-up display or HUD comes to life. Now that we have power, you can turn on the nav lights by pressing right control and L. If you're going on a combat mission, leave them off. Press the spacebar to continue.
Right control L. It's left control November question mark. Yep. There you go. Does it have anti-collision? Can't tell.
If you have an annoying beep, it's the RWR or radar warning receiver. Turn down the volume by pressing right Alt and comma. Next, let's close the canopy by pressing left control and C. Press the spacebar to continue.
Right, canopy coming down. Nice. Spacebar.
We're now going to start the left or number 1 engine. Highlighted are the warning panel and the RPM gauge. Press right Alt and Home. That's right Alt and Home. You will notice the
Is that the
green
left
ignition
engine?
light illuminate on the warning panel. And after about 10 seconds, the number 1 left engine RPM registers on the RPM gauge. Once the green light goes out, at around 40% engine RPM, ignition is complete. Press the spacebar.
There's a beeping light down there. I wonder what that is. Left engine, this one. That sounds awesome. Okay.
With the ignition light on the warning panel out, we can start the right or number 2 engine. Press right control and home. Note the ignition green light, and note there will be a 10-second delay before the number 2 RPM needle registers. Press spacebar to continue.
Fucking cool. Alright.
In the lower left corner of the dash is an aircraft symbol that indicates the status of your slat and flaps, landing gear and air brake. It has 3 green lights showing the gear down. If the centre circle is lit, you have a problem with the gear. Now lower your slats and flaps to the takeoff position by pressing F. F will cycle the flaps up and down. You can check where they are by looking at the gauge. The indicator now has 6 flap slat lights shown as bars and 3 green lights. Put your taxi light on by pressing right Alt and L. Press the spacebar to continue.
And this is a... yeah, it's a landing position. Okay, left control F. The flaps are down. Taxi light on. Yeah, it's fine. It's daytime. I need my taxi light. I just need to make sure that it's binded though. Yeah, it is.
We're now ready to taxi. Be careful. Look down at the stick and press and hold W to engage the wheel brakes. You can see the brake lever move, like a handbrake. Release W and the wheel brakes are released. For taxiing in a moment, we will be using the number pad plus and minus keys.
You pull the lever.
The page up and page down keys only use 4 settings.
That's cool.
70%, 90%, max dry and burn.
It's a little weird
so
though.
There's no finesse. We will be testing the brakes using number pad plus just once to get moving, then pressing W to stop the aircraft. OK. If you've got that, we're ready to taxi. Press the spacebar.
Spacebar.
Now, tap number pad plus just once to get moving. On sensing forward movement, tap number pad minus. Bring back the power. Press and hold W to stop the aircraft. Controlling the throttle is obviously easier with a throttle rather than a keyboard. Now, repeat this process, but press W just to slow the aircraft down to walking speed.
Let me check the nosebus steering real quick.
Now turn left using Z. The Z and X keys will steer you left and right. You should have turned left now and be travelling slowly along the parking apron.
That works. Let's turn it off. Oh, it still works. What does this do? What does that do? See something.
As you taxi, practice using small and smooth rudder corrections, Z and X, to keep you aligned on the centre of the
I'm
taxiway.
not sure what that does.
Maintain walking speed. At the intersection, take a right.
I'm not sure what nose with steering does. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't even increase the gain or anything. I don't even know what that does.
At the fork here, hang a right.
Yeah, we do have an anti-collision light.
OK, turn left here using the Z key and follow the taxiway parallel to the runway. Maintain walking speed and remember W is the wheel brake. As you taxi at walking speed, you can see just how cool you look in the MiG-29 by toggling between the external view and the internal view.
Nope,
Headphone
don't
users
care.
beware. Press
Don't
F2
give
to
a
go
shit.
outside and F1 to return to the cockpit.
I'm a pilot. I don't
Rotate
look
and
outside the
zoom your
aircraft.
view using the number pad or mouse.
It's a powerful aircraft. I just give it a little bit of throttle and it just goes. Not bad.
Turn right here.
Okay. That was a perfect turn.
Turn right onto the runway and line yourself up in the centre. Bring the aircraft to a halt using the wheel brake. When you are ready to take off, press spacebar.
I guess it gives a little bit more nose with steering. That's so weird using a lever for the brakes.
Zoom in a bit using the mouse wheel or star so you can read the green writing of the HUD clearly. You're now ready for takeoff. If you're still holding it, release the wheel brake. Bring the engines up to full power by pressing page up 3 times. Note you will get 2 green lights on the warning panel to show the burners are lit. Keep central down the runway using gentle inputs of Z and X. Your speed will register top left of the HUD when above 90. As soon as your speed exceeds 300, pull back on the stick and establish a steady climb.
Roger, here we go. I'm gonna go full mil.
Once safely airborne, get the gear up by pressing G and flaps up by pressing F. If you have the capacity, glance down and watch the green lights all go out.
Whoa, this trim's terrible. I need to trim the shit out of this. There we go. Nice. Oh, this is so powerful.
Congratulations. That concludes this lesson on starting up, taxiing and takeoff, SUTO, in the MiG-29 Fulcrum. You can end the lesson now by pressing the escape key. You can also eject, or bang out, by holding down left control and E 3 times. Or just tool around a bit and try landing. Remember, G will put the gear back down, F the flaps, and B the air brake or speed brake. Whatever you decide, happy hunting.
Nice. Let me see something real quick as far as F-16. No. Fucking hell. Speed brake. Yeah, there you go. Alright. That's that done. Now, JVFR approach and landing. This lesson will learn how to navigate to an airfield and land on it. Assuming this is similar to the C-25. Oh god.
Before we start, if you're having trouble hearing me, press escape, go to options, then audio, and turn down the world and in-cockpit sounds to 0. In this lesson we're going to learn how to navigate to an airfield and land on it. There are 3 navigation modes that we will be using: en route, return,
The hell is that
and
behind my
landing.
aircraft?
These submodes are selected automatically
The hell is
at
that?
appropriate points
Smoking.
along the assigned flight path, but they can also be cycled manually. In this
Oh,
lesson
it's
we'll
probably
use the
exhaust.
automatic method.
I know some of these
I
aircraft have
currently have the
exhaust.
lesson paused as I explain some of the finer points.
They burn dirty.
Press the spacebar to continue. What we'll learn in this lesson is navigating to an airfield via the waypoints, then return point, then landing. We are currently in en route mode, as indicated in the bottom left hand corner of the HUD. This will cycle between all waypoints,
Finally,
including
actually
the
has the
RTN and
highlighting.
LDG landing waypoints. Press the spacebar to continue. You can see that waypoint 1 is selected with a range of 8.5 kilometers at
Okay.
the bottom center of the HUD. Press left control and tilde to select waypoint 2. The tilde key is the one to the left of the 1 key and below the escape key on most keyboards. You may not have heard of it. The HUD will show ENR.
Let me see something real quick. Sorry. Alright. That.
You can see that waypoint 2 is 15.5 kilometers for us. On the front dash, to the left of the stick, are 2 dials, the HSI and ADI. These mirror what is happening in the HUD in terms of navigation. For today, we will just use the HUD approach and navigation cues. Press the spacebar to continue. We're going to fly to waypoint 2 by following the circle in the centre of the HUD. This is a neat system that will line you up with the runway. Fly towards the circle. Try and match the required or planned height to be at each waypoint, as indicated above your actual altitude in the top right hand corner of the HUD. Let's practice this as we fly to waypoint 2. I will unpause the lesson when you press the spacebar.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, now you can fly
Whoa.
to meet the navigation circle
Whoa,
on
my
the HUD
trim.
in the very centre of the pitch and
What
bank
the hell?
indicator. Also, remember that the assigned airspeed and altitude for each waypoint are indicated in smaller digits
Fucking
above
weird.
your current airspeed and altitude. Put your throttles to idle and let the speed bleed off naturally to between 400 and 500 clicks. As you climb to 1000
God, this is
meters,
sensitive.
toggle the air brake in and out using the B key if you need to. You can see if it's out by the 2 yellow lights highlighted. I suggest a minimum pattern speed of 400 clicks. Fly to waypoint 2.
Odd. What are waypoint 2? That's straight ahead of us. Yep, nearly going fast enough.
Well done. The HUD will now switch over automatically to waypoint 3. Go ahead and fly to waypoint 3 following the nav circle and maintain a speed of around 400 clicks per hour.
Alright, so I'm just following the circle. Or should I follow the thing on the HSI? I'll follow the thing on the HSI. Getting there.
Now that you've reached the last en route waypoint, notice that return mode has automatically been selected,
Yes.
as indicated by RTN in the lower left corner of the HUD.
Roger.
Your nav steering will now provide you steering to intercept the ILS beams at the proper heading and altitude. Keep following the nav circle to RTN.
Altitude's low. God, this thing's fast.
Now we've entered the ILS beams, we have automatically switched to landing mode, as indicated by LNDG, the bottom left-hand corner of the HUD. The ILS contains a glide slope beam to guide you vertically and a localizer beam to guide you horizontally. Below the landing indication is a K. This lets you know you've captured the ILS beams. The upside down L in the lower right-hand corner of the HUD indicates you're on glide slope. If you've not already done so, reduce your airspeed to less than 400 clicks and lower your gear by pressing G. If you need to, deploy your air brakes by pressing B.
Air brakes.
Lower landing flaps by pressing F. Press the spacebar to continue.
Slow down, damn it. So I'm gonna trim. Whoa. Still too much trim. The aircraft's weird. I am falling out of the sky, literally. I'm literally falling out of the sky.
You have just passed the outer marker beacon, and your airspeed should be between 280 and 320 clicks, and on glide slope. Remember, always better to be hot and high than low and slow.
I know that. This is not bad of a landing. I was a little low at first, but I'm doing quite well here.
You have now passed the inner marker beacon at 5 kilometers.
Very gentle.
You just passed the runway threshold. When the radar altimeter indicates 5 meters, reduce the throttle to idle and flare the nose, such that the
God, that was
sink
hard.
rate is between 1 and 2 meters per second. Once
I
all
think I
wheels are on the
damaged
ground
something.
and your speed is below 250 clicks, release the braking chute by pressing P.
I think I
Hold down the
damaged
W key
my
to apply
gear.
air brakes until the aircraft
Would not be
comes to a
surprised. It
complete
was a
stop.
hard as fuck landing. Oh God.
Well done. Looks like you got it down in one
What?
piece. You can end the lesson now by pressing the escape key.
I didn't damage anything, huh? Apparently not. I really thought I damaged something. That was a hard landing. That was not the way I wanted it. Alright. Alright, closer combat modes. Ooh. Okay. When within visual range of enemy aircraft, it is time to transition from beyond visual range radar scan mode to one of the close air combat CAC modes. This lesson will learn about the different CAC modes in the helmet mounted sight. I guess it makes sense we're doing that first. Within visual range radar, then beyond visual range radar. That makes sense. Then again, some people do it backwards, or some people do it the other way around. Beyond visual range first and then within visual range. Because it doesn't really matter what you start with, as long as you understand both of them at the end. It doesn't matter which one you learn first. They're kind of about the same, in a way. Alright, that's a cool shot. My zooms are weird.
Welcome to the MiG-29 Close Combat, or Visual Combat, or Dogfight HUD Modes lesson. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at how to lock and fire our missiles, usually infrared air-to-air missiles, aka heat seekers, such as the R-73 AA-11 NATO codename Archer, at targets we can see. Complex air-to-air combat often goes from BVI head-on, to visual head-on, to merged dogfighting. We have 4 modes which we can select using the 3, 4, 5 and 6 keys. First, press the 3 key to enter vertical scan
Oh shit.
mode.
What? What did you say? Sorry, I was just making sure I could move the thing. Why is it on the left? That's weird. Fuck. I didn't know what he said. Press the 3 key?
Okay,
Oh shit.
now go ahead and press I to turn on the radar.
Fuck, I don't know what I did to this. Radar on off slash star.
In this mode, the radar will search in a vertical scan pattern between the 2 vertical bars on the HUD. The radar will lock onto a target in the vertical plane when the target is between these 2 bars and is within 10 kilometers, and you press enter. This is a useful mode when in a turning fight and the target is just above your nose. Press 4 now to enter boresight mode.
Full sight.
Boresight mode is indicated by the circle on the HUD. When you place a target in this circle, the target is within 10 kilometers and you press enter, the target will be locked up. This is handy when you want to lock up a target when there are several in view. Press 5 to enable the helmet mounted sight, or HMS.
Yes.
The helmet mounted sight, or HMS, places a monocle over one of your eyes. By moving your view, you can place the sight projected on the monocle over a target and lock it up by pressing enter. When using the R-73 AA-11 Archer dogfight missile, this is an amazing tool for locking up a target far outside your HUD and engaging it. When the target is locked and within launch parameters, the HMS reticle will flash. If there is an X over the HMS reticle, it indicates that the HMS is too far outside of constraints for a valid missile launch. Press 6 to enter longitudinal missile aiming mode. This last mode does not use any of the aircraft sensors, but rather only uses the infrared seeker in the R-73 and R-27T series of missiles. Simply select one of these missiles and place the cross in the center of the HUD over a target and launch the missile when you hear the lock tone. When you are ready, press the spacebar to turn off active pause and practice these modes against several target aircraft in the area. You can end the mission when done. Happy hunting.
I might give it a shot. god, this trim is fucking awful on this aircraft. I see. I'm not going to fire anything. So that works. Let's try 3. That doesn't work. Let's try this one. This one doesn't work at all. Alright, well, vertical scan doesn't work. Triple sight. That doesn't work either, apparently. Will that work? No, none of these work. How do I lock them on? Apparently longitudinal is the only damn thing that works. That's a fucking shame. Unless I'm doing it wrong. I don't think there's a target lock button. It's probably a target lock button. Let's try again. Oh, yeah. I have to do that. Target unlock. 4. Lock. Target unlock. 5. Lock. Target unlock. Alright, so they all do work. Brilliant. Alright. Alright, I want to do gunnery first. Aerial gunnery. Alright, in this lesson we're going to learn how to use the 30mm cannon to shoot on other aircraft because you can do so with and without first getting a radar lock. Always do gun first, then missiles. Yeah.
Welcome to Air-to-Air Gunnery. Before we start, if you're having trouble hearing me, press Escape, go to Options, then Audio, and turn down the world and in-cockpit sounds to 0. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use the 30mm cannon to shoot down other aircraft. We can do so with and without first getting a radar lock. Let's first look at air-to-air gunnery without a radar lock. Press the 3 key to enter close air combat mode. Next, press C to select the cannon. You now see the HUD in the gun funnel mode. Notice the 2 converging lines near the top centre of the HUD with a number between them. This is the gun funnel. When in this mode, you will fly your aircraft to position the wingtips of your target such that they touch the sides of the funnel lines.
Yes.
The number in the centre should equal the wingspan of your target in metres. You can adjust this value by pressing right Alt and equals to increase it, or right Alt and minus to decrease it. You can find wingspan values in the game encyclopedia. Set the wingspan value to 13, which is the wingspan of an F-15C. Press the spacebar once you've done so.
Okay.
When you're ready, press the spacebar and I will unpause the lesson. Before you do so, note the 4 bottom right of the HUD. This is 4/4 or full gun ammo available. This will reduce to 0 as you hose away your foes. Upon doing so, an enemy F-15C will appear in front of you. Use the gun funnel to damage or shoot it down. This can be tricky. He, or she, will weave and most likely deploy air brake to make you overshoot. If you don't crack it first pass, circle around and have another crack until you do.
Alright, let's do it. Oh god, this fucking trim, man. It's the worst shit ever. And this gun funnel thing is weird. Look at it. It's like, it's so weird. It's like, I know it's inertial driven, but it feels so arcadish. Not like the F-16s. Maybe this is how it is in the real aircraft, I don't know. Oh, this is gonna be hard. God, I'm not even 50% throttle and I'm already overtaking this dude. Nice guns.
Top Gun, here we come. Let's now talk about the radar-directed gun sight.
That's a little tricky.
This is way easier. Press C again to turn off gun symbology on the HUD. We are now back in the vertical scan mode, indicated by the two vertical lines on the HUD. In order to use the radar-directed gun sight, you will first need to lock up the target by pressing Enter. You can do this in other close combat modes, but use vertical scan for now. Once locked, press C. Track the target. Watch the range decrease on the left side of the HUD.
Let's see something. Lock. Unlock. Turn to search. Roger. I keep forgetting what that's called.
The target is the hollow arrow, and when in range, around 1,000 meters, that's where the A is on the bottom left-hand corner, an aiming circle will appear, and you will get LA, firing approved, in the center of the HUD. Fly the aiming reticle into the tracking reticle and fire. One other thing, if you break lock, you will be back in gun funnel mode. Press 3 to get back to vertical scan, and C for cannon. Press spacebar to unpause the lesson. Okay, if you can't see any F-15s, use F10 as your only.
I use the RWR.
Have a quick look at
Behind
where
us.
your next victims are. Remember the sequence. 3 for vertical scan.
I see him.
Enter, lock the target. C, cannon. Track the target. Watch the range down to 1,000 meters, about where the A is on the bottom left-hand corner of the HUD. Fly the aiming reticle into the tracking reticle. Track it like a god. LA, fire. Okay, good luck and happy hunting.
Thank you. Locked. C. This does not help me hit the target much. I'm not even 50% throttle. Oh, there we go. Fuck yeah. First shot, one shot kill, hell yeah. That was good. Alright, I'm ending the lesson. That's basically it. Alright, BVR, R-77 and R-27ER missiles. This sim will build upon what we learned using the radar scan mode to locate targets, lock them up with sensors, and launch a missile at it. Alright, let's do this. BVR, R-27R missiles. Nice.
If you're having trouble hearing me, press escape, go to options, then audio, and turn down the world and in-cockpit sounds to 0. Welcome to the MiG-29 BVR Lesson 1. BVR, Beyond Visual Range. You will be paused in the same place until you've shot down the first target aircraft, so no need to worry about the throttle and stick. I am using the English language HUD for this demo. This can be changed in the game options. If at any stage you feel rushed, just pause the mission by pressing pause break. Let's start by entering BVR scan mode. Press the 2 key and notice that the HUD says BVR on the lower left.
Okay, 2.
Great. Now look down and to the right, just the right of your right knee, either using the mouse or the numpad key. Turn the radar on by pressing I. You will see a red button showing the radar is on. The I key toggles the radar on and off.
Okay, so on.
The HUD is like a top-down view of the airspace ahead. The radar range scale is currently set at 50 on the top left side of the HUD, i.e. out to 50 kilometers. You can change the range scales by pressing minus to zoom out to 500 kilometers, which is max range, and plus to zoom in to the 5 kilometer minimum. Set the radar range scale to 50 kilometers. Press spacebar to continue.
Spacebar.
In the center of the HUD, you will notice a rectangular box. This is your target designator, or TDC.
Okay, I see.
You will use the TDC to lock targets displayed on the HUD. The HUD display is like a repeat of your radar. Move the TDC around using semicolon for up, period or full stop for down, comma for left, and slash for right. Once you feel you've got the hang of moving the TDC around, press the spacebar.
Okay, I know how to use TDCs.
You can see 6 dots along the bottom of the HUD.
Roger.
These are your air-to-air missiles. Press D.
Okay.
Notice that the 4 dots on the top row move down and 2 dots on the bottom row now move up. Also notice that the 77 changes to a 27ER.
Roger.
This is because you are switching between 4 R-77 AA-12 Adder missiles and 2 larger ER-27 AA-10 extended range Alamo missiles. Press D a few times and watch the HUD change. Leave the 77 selected as your final press. Press spacebar to continue.
So it seems like the what the hell was that? Sort of like a bunch of dots. Anyways, it seems like the whatever's selected is at the top row, so that's good.
Soon you will see a hostile aircraft coming directly at you, co-altitude. You can see it on your radar at around 50 kilometers.
I think I see him.
It is the line of 2 dash marks.
Right there.
2 dash marks mean it's fighter-sized. The beeping that starts
Yep, he's right there.
RWR, telling you that you have a radar painting you. If you want to, turn the volume down by pressing right Alt
I see
and
him.
comma. Now move your TDC over the contact and press Enter when it gets to 45 kilometers to lock it up.
Oh, I turned VSync
Now
on,
that
by
you
the
have
way,
it locked
guys,
up,
just so you guys know.
some new information is displayed on the HUD.
I turned
That's the
VSync on,
location of the target,
so hopefully there's less
with a
screen
small
tearing.
diamond. Press the spacebar.
Oh, those 2 dots. Oh, wait till it gets a little bit lower. Okay, locked. It's locked. How do I unlock? That's weird. It's probably because I'm active paused.
Now let's look at the HUD, starting bottom left. The down arrow shows the target coming directly
I
towards
was
you.
right, that's him.
BVR we know. ATK means single target track mode.
Okay.
A is automatic radar range mode. The range scale will jump down as the locked target gets closer. RL, your radar is on. Top left are speeds. Yours are the larger numbers, 790. The target speed, 810, is above yours. Press spacebar to continue. Top right are altitudes. The target on top in small
Launch
font,
authorized.
yours below and larger, both around 6,500 meters. Now looking at the left side of the HUD again. Along the inside of the range scale are 3 fat bars and a hollow arrow. These are key range indicators. The hollow arrow indicates the target range. The top fat bar is Rmax and represents the max flight range of the R-77 missile, around 32 clicks. The middle bar is the RTR, better known as no escape zone. This represents the max range you can launch a missile and still expect to
Going
hit the target
1,000 knots,
even if it
damn.
maneuvers. The bottom bar is the RMIN indication and lets you know the min range. You can launch the missile and still expect to hit the target. Once the target arrow reaches the Rmax bar, you will see an LA, launch authorization. This indication is in the middle of the HUD. Press spacebar.
Okay.
The range scale should jump down to 25 kilometers any second. Wait until the target reaches the RTR, no escape indication, the middle fat bar, around 13 kilometers for the R-77, then press and hold the trigger on your joystick or press the spacebar to launch the missile. Fox 3.
Fox 3. Shall I say Fox 3 short?
There is a new target just beyond 50 kilometers on the nose. Press D to ensure the R-27 ERO is selected.
Launch
As
authorized.
before, slew the TDC over the new target flying away from you and lock it up and launch the missile. Fox 2.
I don't see anyone.
Well done. You have control. Those are the basics of using BVR air-to-air missiles.
I didn't see anyone.
Put the radar range back out to 50 kilometers using the minus key. You have a train of evenly spaced F5s coming at you. Good luck. Press F10 to get the map up and see where they are in relation to you. Happy hunting.
Okay, well, that's it. I'm not gonna do any more because it's basically the same thing. Oh, there's a guy. Might as well grab him. Might as well grab him.
Launch authorized.
Wait till it gets... Wait till it gets in range. He's heading away from me. Fire. Smoke missile. Got him. Alright, that's it. Alright. CCRP mode unguided bombs. This lesson we're going to learn how to deliver unguided bombs in the continuous computed impact point mode, or CCIP. Alright, bombs CCIP mode, let's do it.
Before we start, ensure you have weapons release mapped to something other than spacebar. If you cannot hear me, press escape, Select Options, then Audio tab. Turn down the world and in-cockpit sound levels to 0. Also, if you need to slow things down, just hit pause brake to pause everything. Welcome to CCIP bombing. CCIP, Continuously Computed Impact Point. CCIP is the usual mode for delivering dumb bombs, with the usual delivery being in a dive. This method is good for both high-angle dive from medium level and, with retarded bombs, pop-up shallow-angle dive bombing starting from low level. Active pause is on. Press the spacebar to continue.
Okay.
Press 7 to enter air-to-ground mode. Note the HUD changes.
Okay. 7.
Let's take a closer look at the HUD. Bottom left. GND means we're in ground attack mode. IP means we are currently in CCIP mode. Important note, the bombs will only release when you have a valid release profile in the HUD, with LA showing. Press spacebar to continue. Now press D, and notice that the 4 green dots on the bottom of the HUD swap over. These are your bombs. Bombs are either smart or dumb, and either slick or retarded. You have a pair of Fab 250s on the outer stations, and a pair of Fab 500s on the inner. The Fabs are dumb and slick bombs. 250 kilos, 500 kilos. Take a quick look at your ordnance by going outside, press F2, press F1 to return to the cockpit, then press spacebar to continue. In a moment, we're going to unpause the mission. I want you to dive the aircraft so the dive angle in the HUD is greater than 50 degrees, quite steep. Note the bomb fall line and LA appear in the HUD when a valid release solution is computed. The bombs will not release without LA. Press spacebar. You have control. Pull the power back a notch or two by pressing page down. Nose down to 50 degrees or greater. Note the HUD symbology. Then climb rapidly back up to 4,000 meters. Press the spacebar.
Launch authorized.
I got it. There we go. Put some G's there. That's good enough.
The small circle in the centre of the HUD is the CCIP. This is where the bomb's going to hit, hence Continuously Computed Impact Point. I'm going to call it the Pipper, because, well, that's what it's called. But remember, you will not get a release until you see LA in the HUD. Press spacebar to continue. Now you need to judge this by eye and practice, but take a guess. When you think you're almost on top of the target, pull the throttles back to idle and push the nose over so that the Pipper is just short of the target. Fly with the Pipper just short of the target until you get LA in the HUD. Once you do, allow the Pipper to drift onto the target
Launch
and bombs
authorized.
away. Pull sharply up into a climb and press the space
Launch authorized.
Oh, that's gonna be terrible.
Pull up.
Ah,
If you have the capacity, press F6 to track your bombs, or F2 to go external and rotate the view to watch your bombs impact as you escape, shack, or splash, as you say in the trade. I've added some additional trucks marked with green smoke to practice on. You can continue to practice, or you can end the mission now by pressing the escape key. Happy hunting.
I want to test something. Will weapon fire work? No. Try again.
Launch authorized.
Okay, so it doesn't work. Alright, so that's it. Alright, CCRP mode, unguided bombs. Assessment going to learn how to deliver unguided bombs in the continuous computed release point mode, or CCRP. Alright, CCRP mode. Let's do it.
Before we start, ensure you have weapon release mapped to something other than spacebar. If you cannot hear me, press Escape, select Options, then Audio tab, turn down the world and in-cockpit sound levels to 0.
Let's see something.
Also, if at any time you need to slow things down, just hit pause break to pause everything. Take a deep breath, come back when you're ready again. Bombs. Bombs come in 3 varieties, smart or guided, slick and retarded. Slick bombs are for use in low and medium altitude bombing, as well as dive attacks. The blast will blow up the dropping aircraft if dropped from ultra or very low levels, i.e. below 500 feet or 150 metres. Welcome to CCRP bombing, CCRP, Continuously Computed Release Point. CCRP allows us to drop bombs when the target is no longer in sight, i.e. it has disappeared below the aircraft. This method is good for level bombing from medium altitudes and for toss or loft bombing. Active pause is on. Press spacebar to continue. Press 7 to enter air-to-ground mode. Note the HUD changes. Let's take a closer look at the HUD, starting bottom left. GND means we're in ground attack mode. IP means we are currently in CCIP mode. This will change when we press the trigger. Bottom right is a B, meaning bombs are selected. Press the spacebar to continue.
Sorry.
Now press D, and notice that the 4 green dots on the bottom of the HUD swap over. These are your bombs. You have a pair of Fab 250s on the outer stations and a pair of heavier Fab 500s on the inner. The Fabs are freefall or slick bombs. 250, 250 kilos in weight, 500, 500 kilos. Press the spacebar. We are now going to unpause the mission. After unpause, pull the throttle back to mid-range, then press the spacebar. You have control. Press the spacebar to continue.
Okay.
The small circle in the centre of the HUD is the CCIP. This is where the bombs are going to hit. Now, flying straight and level, press and hold the weapon release. Let go after 2 or 3 seconds. Notice that the circle changes to a diamond and the IP changes to AM on the left side of the HUD. You are now in CCRP mode. When it comes to attacking an actual target, you want to hold down the trigger and fly smoothly over the target until the bombs release automatically. Press the spacebar to continue. Ahead of you is a large lake. On the near shore, marked with red smoke, is a platoon of trucks. Fly the aircraft and walk the CCIP reticle over the base of the red smoke. After the next spacebar press, I want you to press and hold the weapon release when the CCIP or Pipper is on the target. The CCIP circle becomes a CCRP diamond, tracking that aim point on the ground. Now press the spacebar.
Okay.
The key to accuracy is not changing direction from the moment you designate the target when pressing the trigger and entering CCRP until bomb release. Try and keep the top of the vertical tail in the HUD in the centre of the circle. 3 seconds before release a tone will sound. Now, if you have the capacity, make sure your jet is in level flight or a slight climb and press F6 to watch your bombs. After you have watched your bombs impact, press the spacebar.
Trying to get it. There we go. That'll work. Well,
Shack, or splash, as we say in the trade. Press F1 to return to the cockpit. I've added some additional trucks marked with green smoke to practice on. You can continue to practice, or you can end the lesson now by pressing the escape key. Happy hunting.
well, I damaged them at least. Alright, MiG-29 using RBK type cluster bombs. In this lesson we're going to learn how to deliver unguided bombs in a continuously computed release point mode, or CCRP. Oh, that's a cool shot. Let's do it.
Hi. Before we start, ensure you have weapon release mapped to something other than spacebar. If you cannot hear me, press escape, select options, then audio tab. Turn down the world and in-cockpit sound levels to 0. Also, if you need to slow things down, just hit pause break to pause everything. Active pause is on. Press spacebar to continue. Welcome to CCIP bombing with cluster bombs. CCIP, Continuously Computed Impact Point. CCIP is the usual mode for delivering CBU either from level flight at low level or in a shallow dive. When you press the trigger, the bombs, or CBU in this case, will impact where the CCIP circle, aka Pipper, is at that moment. Okay, eyes on the HUD to watch it change. Now press 7 to enter air-to-ground mode. Let's take a look at the HUD. Bottom left, GND means we're in ground attack mode. IP means we're currently in CCIP mode. Important note, the CBU will only release when you have a valid release profile in the HUD.
That makes sense.
LA showing. The LA, think of it as launch authorized, will appear in the bottom center of the HUD, about where the CCIP circle is now. Press spacebar to continue. Now press D, and notice that the 4 green dots on the bottom of the HUD swap over. These are your CBU. You have 2 types. On the inner stations, 2 heavy anti-MBT RBK PTAB 500 225s 10-5s, and on the outer, the lighter 250 2.5. PTAB is heat, high explosive anti-tank. The heavy 10-5s will take out an M1 Abrams. The 2.5s, lighter armour and soft-skin vehicles, or SSV as we call them. Take a quick look at your ordnance by going outside. Press F2. Press F1 to return to the cockpit. How cool was that? Press the spacebar to continue. In a moment we are going to unpause the mission. We're at just under 700 meters altitude. I want you to throttle back 1 notch, page down, then enter a gentle dive until you get a valid release solution. You will see a bomb fall line and LA appear in the HUD when a valid release solution is computed. The CBU will not release without LA. Press spacebar.
I want to test something. If I do permission
Okay,
override, and then
pull the power back a notch or 2 by pressing page down. Nose down to greater than 20 degrees. You should get a solution at about 500 meters altitude. Note the HUD symbology. Climb rapidly back up to above 1,000 meters, then press the spacebar. As noted previously, the small circle in the centre of the HUD is the CCIP. This is where the CBUs are going to hit. But remember, you won't get a release until you see LA in the HUD. The biggest operational limitation of the RBK series is that they cannot be released below 200 meters. This makes level bombing hazardous. You will get higher release heights if you start higher and dive steeper. You will be able to work out your own preferred delivery method. Press the spacebar to continue. Ahead of you is a large lake. On the near shore, marked with red smoke, is a mixed company of 5 M1 Abrams and 5 M2 Bradleys. We are going to attack this target using shallow dive, i.e. 10 to 20 degrees. You may have to try this a couple of times. Fly until the CCIP or Pipper is just short of the first target. Enter a gentle dive, holding the Pipper just short of the target. Pick a point to track on the ground until you see the target and have a solution. I suggest the tree line. For real, you have to hope that your JTAC or FAC marks the target this well. At 600 meters or below, you should get a bomb fall line and LA. Adjust your aim using the bomb fall line and splash. Press the spacebar. Okay, over to you. You will do well to hit a single armoured vehicle with 4 CBUs every pass. And yes, they will be firing back with their anti-aircraft machine guns
Oh god.
and Bushmaster 25mm autocannons. You should be fine first pass though. Honest. You can drop both pairs of CBUs in one pass by 2 presses of the weapon release. Once you've released, pull up and away and try to avoid overflying the target. Press the spacebar.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
I didn't hit anybody. Oh well.
If you have the capacity, press F2 to go external and rotate the view to watch your CBUs impact as you escape. Shack, or splash as we say in the trade. If you only dropped 1 pair of CBUs, circle round for a second pass, but beware, the enemy is awake. Otherwise, you can continue to practice your strafe by pressing C and blasting the trucks marked by green smoke, or you can end the lesson now by pressing the escape key. Happy hunting.
Try to hit those same guys again. Go up high. Actually, I'll go for the green guys. No, I'll go for the other guys. Alright, down.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Didn't hit him again, are you fucking kidding me? God damn it. Oh well. The idea is the same. So, I got the idea, so that's the important bit. Normally I'm not that bad, but okay. Whatever. Dispenser bombing. This lesson we're going to learn how to deliver KMGU type cluster submunitions. As far as KMGU submunitions are being dropped at high speed, very low altitudes from the near horizontal flight above the target, we should well be acquainted with both CCRP and CCIP techniques from previous lessons. The choice solely depends on the aircraft's altitude over the target. If you're below 250 meters of gentle diving, you probably get CCRP's solution. In the other case, of almost horizontal flight or small positive pitch, should be urged to release the CCRP mode. That's a cool shot.
Before we start, ensure you have weapons release mapped to something other than spacebar. If you cannot hear me, press escape, select options, then audio tab. Turn down the world and in-cockpit sound level to 0. Also, if you need to slow things down at any point, just hit pause break to pause everything. Active pause is on. Press the spacebar to continue. Welcome to CCIP bombing with the KMGU-2 dispenser. CCIP, continuously computed impact point. CCIP is the usual mode for delivering these submunitions from level flight at low level or in a very shallow dive. When you press the trigger, the bomblet pattern will start to impact where the CCIP circle, also known as the pipper, is at the moment. OK, eyes on the HUD to watch it change. Now press 7 to enter air-to-ground mode. Let's take a closer look at the HUD. Bottom left, GND means we're in ground attack mode. IP means we are currently in CCIP mode. The DSP, bottom right of the HUD in 4 dots, shows you are armed with 4 dispenser munition pods. Important note, the weapons will only release when you have a valid release profile in the HUD. This means with an LA showing. The LA, think of it as launch authorized, will appear in the bottom centre of the HUD, about where the CCIP circle is now. Press the spacebar to continue. The KMGU-2 comes in 2 types, AO, which is anti-personnel, and PTAB, also known as Heat, High Explosive Anti-Tank, which is anti-armour. The AO that we have fitted today are deadly against troops in the open and soft-skin vehicles, or SSVs, as we call trucks and jeeps. The PTAB Heat are good against light armour, such as LABs and Bradleys, but not against MBTs, like the M1 Abrams. Take a quick look at your ordnance by going outside, F2. Press F1 to return to the cockpit. How cool was that? Press the spacebar.
What does MBT stand for? Modern battle tank? Question mark? I don't know.
In a moment, we're going to unpause the mission. We're at 700 meters altitude. I want you to throttle back 1 notch, page down, then enter a gentle dive until you get a valid release solution. You will see a bomb fall line and LA appear in the HUD when a valid release solution is computed. The dispenser will not release its bomblets without LA. Press the spacebar. You have control.
My god,
Pull
this
the power
trim.
back a notch or 2 by pressing page down. Nose down to 10 degrees. You should get a solution at about 500 meters altitude. Okay, note the HUD symbology.
Pull up.
Now, sit down at 200 meters. Ideally, you want to be approaching and dropping your bomblets from level flight at about 75 meters. The system won't let you release them lower than 50 meters, which is a great pity. If you do stray down to below 50 meters on your way in, you will get a NOLA.
So I guess we just stay on this course.
Ahead of you is a large lake. On the near shore, marked with red smoke, which you can see in the centre of the HUD, is a company of motorised infantry trucks, all in march mode, the perfect target. As noted previously, the small circle in the centre of the HUD is the CCIP. Fly in at around 75 to 125 metres and around 1,000 km per hour. Line up the bomb fall line with a column of trucks. Fly until the CCIP or pipper is on the first truck, then hold down the weapon release. Keep it steady while the bomblets will release. Yes, this is a disadvantage, you have to overfly the target. OK, all set? Press the spacebar for the final run into target.
Okay, so I need to go fast. Okay. Well, that sounds amazing.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
There we go.
OK, over to you. You will enjoy this. Should be deadly if you get it right. If you have the capacity, press F2 once your weapons are expended to go external and rotate the view to watch the dispenser's impact as you escape. If you didn't get your cans off, circle around for a re-attack. Otherwise, you can continue to practice your strafe by pressing C and blasting what's left. Or you can learn the lesson now by pressing the escape key. Happy hunting!
Wow, we did it. So I got that. I didn't get the CCIP or whatever, but I got the other one. Alright, last one, guys. Unguided rockets and strafing. This lesson we're going to learn how to engage ground targets with rockets and 30mm cannon. Unguided rockets and gun.
Before we start, ensure you have weapon release mapped to something other than spacebar. If you cannot hear me, press Escape, select Options, then Audio tab. Turn down the world and in-cockpit sound levels to 0. Also, if you need to slow things down, just hit pause brake to pause everything. Active pause is on. Press the spacebar to continue. Welcome to air-to-ground rockets and guns in the MiG-29. This should be a walk in the park. You're armed with 4 80mm S8 rocket pods. Each pod has 19 unguided rockets. You have 2 pods each of AP and HE frag. OK, eyes on the HUD to watch it change. Now press 7 to enter air-to-ground mode. Let's take a closer look at the HUD. Bottom left, GND means we're in ground attack mode. IP means we are currently in CCIP mode. Whatever air-to-ground weapon you have selected will impact where the circle in the HUD is. The circle is the Continuously Computed Impact Point, CCIP, also known as the PIPA. The S8COM bottom right of the HUD shows you the AP rockets, and 4 dots show you are armed with 4 rocket pods. Press D, and note bottom right hand corner changes to S8 FPS, which are the HE frag rockets. Press spacebar to continue.
No, it switches to COM.
The S8COM are good against
Okay,
lightly
fine.
armoured vehicles. The FP2's excellent against SSVs, soft-skin vehicles, like trucks and jeeps, and also against troops in the open. Now press C to select the 30mm cannon. You get a gun, bottom left-hand corner of the HUD, otherwise everything is the same. Press C again to deselect the cannon and revert to rockets. Take a quick look at your ordnance by going outside. Press F2. The pods look identical. Press F1 to return to the cockpit, and then press spacebar.
Oh, gun. There we go.
In a moment you will unpause the mission. When you do, I want you to throttle back 1 notch, page down, then enter a gentle dive, around 10 degrees nose down. I want you to look to the left side of the HUD. There are 3 range indicators. On top you will see a hollow arrow. This is the range where the PIPA is looking. Below that, 2 fat bars. These are max and min firing ranges. If you press D now, you will see the PIPA move and hollow arrow move, as the 2 types of S80 you are carrying have slightly different flight characteristics. The max range for the S80s and the 30mm cannon is about 3 clicks. As you dive, the PIPA range, hollow arrow, will march towards the top fat bar, max range. When it crosses it, at around 550 meters altitude, you'll get an LA, Launch Authority, bottom center of the HUD, when a valid release solution is computed.
Makes sense.
Unlike most other weapons, you can fire rockets at any time without LA. OK, unpause now by pressing spacebar. You have control. Pull the power back a notch by pressing page down. Nose down to 10 degrees. From this height you should get a solution at about 550 meters altitude. Note the HUD symbology, a hollow arrow, the fat arrows, LA. Climb rapidly back up to around 1,000 meters. You can repeat this with the cannon by pressing C. Very similar symbology. Remember to deselect C and press D so you have FP2 for frag HE rockets, the bottom right hand corner of the HUD. Now press the spacebar. Ahead of you is a large lake. On the near shore, marked with red smoke, is a company of motorised infantry trucks, all in march mode. The perfect target for FP2s, so make sure the HUD bottom right hand corner says S8 FP2. You're going to attack these using a dive angle of 10 to 20 degrees.
Okay.
When you are higher, not only can you fire from further away, but you get better accuracy with steeper dive angles. As a rule of thumb, your dive angle should match the first 2 digits of your starting altitude, so If you start at 2,000 meters, you should use 20 degrees, 3,000 meters, 30 degrees, and so on. Press the spacebar to continue.
This would be interesting. I'm gonna dive soon. Alright, diving. There we go.
The keys to accurate rocketry are trim and nerve. You don't want to be fighting the aircraft as you try and aim. As you dive, trim nose down. Use right control and full stop or period. Do not unleash the second you are in range with LA. Make sure your tracking is godlike, then let rip. Okay, now set up at 1 to 2,000 meters altitude and max dry power. You don't need to be going supersonic down the dive. Fire your rockets until only 2 dots are left in the HUD. Once your FP2 pods are empty,
Oh, I
the
did
system
already.
will switch to S8 com automatically. Press the spacebar.
Switch it.
Okay, over to you. You will enjoy this. Should be deadly if you get it right. Press the spacebar. Shack, or splash, as we say in the trade.
I did it already.
We've now activated a couple of platoons of US Marines buttoned up in AA-7 armoured amphibs, just north of the battered US infantry company. They are marked with green smoke. You have to hit them to hurt them, so hold your nerve and get close. Once you've expended all your rockets, select your 30mm cannon by pressing C. Strafe, air-to-ground gunnery. Strafe is identical to rocketry. All the same principles apply. Finish off the hapless grunts, then fly home to a hero's welcome.
Well, it's basically the same stuff, so yeah, let's do it since it's the last one. What do you mark it with? Green smoke. I'm gonna do gun. My launch authorizer is bugged.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Nothing. Didn't even hit him. I did not get a single hit. I think I need direct hits for this shit. There's no, like, spread. That fucking sucks. I need to get direct hits. That's pretty shit. Let's do the rockets one more time. Let's try the comm rockets. But strafing, it looks like I need direct hits, which I'm not going to bother trying to get that. Because that's just a pain in the ass. I would get it if I had to. Goodbye.
Pull up. Pull up.
There we go.
Pull up.
Right, that's it guys. That's it for the MiG-29. I'm just going to end it here in the mission, like I did last time. I figure that would be better. So, than the way I've usually been ending it. But anyways, you know what, while we're at it, let's go for one more gun strafe. One more gun strafe. I'm going to try to get the convoy. If I can't hit a single target, then I just suck. But oh shit, you can fight without LA. I didn't know that. Oh, there's no convoy. I'll just go back over here. This doesn't hit, I don't know what will.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Yeah, that's direct hits and it doesn't even register. That's weird. I saw one direct hit there and it didn't register. Let's see if there... Oh, there's a lot. Okay, never mind. Alright, that's all for this part, guys. If you liked it, smash like button, like a mouse, leave a comment. I'll see you guys next time. I shouldn't have said that yet. Next up, we're going to be doing the Su-27, I believe, is the next jet. But we're done with the MiG-29. So, that's all for this part, guys. If you'd like to smash like button, like a badass, leave a comment. I'll see you guys next time. Farewell.